You just turn on the light.
There's a maniac running loose around here, and two people dead already.
Welcome to the movies, pal. You're from the neighborhood master, Chaos here. I hope you're doing well. Come on in. Seat saved for you as always. You're going to hang out a little longer than normal because today, and this is something we don't normally do here, we're holding a double feature. We're going to be talking about the film Horror High and the film Stanley, one that I was familiar with before and one that I remember really loving, but revisiting it, I have some qualms about it. But overall, you're going to be shocked by today's review. As a matter of fact, I would say hold on to your butts. Like, literally, grab your cheeks and keep your hands there for the entire review. While you're busy squeezing your cushion melons, let's talk about this double feature from Vinegar Syndrome. This is a return to an old line they used to have, drive-in classics, drive-in double features, forget exactly what they call it, but I have most of those films, and most of those are awful goddamn movies, and there's a reason I haven't talked about them, because they're just literally worth nobody's time. Anyway, this is the first Blu-ray release for that line, and I'm happy to report that both movies are actually pretty damn good. I was very surprised by Horror High. And Stanley, one that I was familiar with, as a matter of fact, I have a VHS just right off of my camera here. I'd grab it, but then I'd have a mountain of pops that would fall over me. I'm not kidding. I'll show you a picture to prove that I've got Stanley right there next to me. But anyway, I was familiar with Stanley, but revisiting here, I was, I think I was a little more disappointed with the material, but we'll get to it. Let's start with Horror High. Horror High is Dr. Jekyll for the Noxema crowd. A teenage goober nerd takes a chemical that changes him into a rabid beast, a la Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, which is also a movie they're watching in the beginning of this one, too. You know, filmmakers back then were not worried about being too heavy-handed. I'm not a big fan of movies about kids getting bullied, and the film isn't exactly non-stop excitement, but I really loved the 70s aesthetic and the stressing of character development for our main protagonist and his issues. Austin Stoker even makes an appearance here. You would know him from Assault on Precinct 13. He plays a badass police chief. Vernon, our hero/villain, uses the Dr. Jekyll poison to give him the strength and confidence to kill the teachers that least like him. The kills are sparse, the nudity is non-existent, and it's more a high school bullying drama than a straight-out horror movie. But all that being said, it's a fairly gory movie. There's a core sadness in this one that you don't normally see in films of this ilk, and honestly, it added a layer of realism to what's happening. If you want to watch a late 70s slasher film that doesn't hold back, honestly, I recommend Horror High. It's not the movie you may be thinking of. There's a lot of horror high, terror high, high school high, horror slashy movies. This is, I thought I had seen this one. I hadn't. This is the first time I'd seen this film. This was new to my eyes. Do understand, though, that this is a 70s movie, not an 80s movie. Going in, I was expecting kind of an 80s, jocks and nerds kind of movie, but this is sort of a 70s take on it, which I found similar, but still very different. There's almost a TV movie feeling aesthetic to it, which I thought was unique to definitely the time of the making of the movie, and gave the film a different feeling than the typical 80s high school jocks versus nerds kind of movie. Also, the fact that we know who the killer is, and we're with him from the beginning, makes it very interesting. I think the idea that it's a Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde version really makes the movie quite unique. It's a monster movie, it's a slasher movie, and it's also a pretty grim high school bullying drama. It's kind of all those things at once, and I can see people kind of being bored by it, but I found it quite compelling, and I was very shocked to be able to report that, but I think it's a pretty damn good movie.
Nice.
This might be crazy. It sounds crazy me thinking it out loud, but I'm gonna say it. 4 stars. I'm gonna go with 4 stars for Horror High. I dug it, man. I thought it was really damn good. And I think you'll enjoy it too. There's a lot more here that meets the eye. As a matter of fact, I'm just going to say it right now. This entire disc, this double feature, is worth your time. With a caveat, and we'll talk about that caveat when we talk about Stanley, which is now. Stanley runs 1 hour and 47 minutes. This movie will 100% give you the heebie-jeebies, especially if you hate snakes. This is quite possibly the craziest and most dangerous movie ever made. Right up there with the film Roar, where the family lived with all those goddamn lions and tigers and all that crazy shit. Our main character's name is Tim, not Stanley, because Stanley is the name of Tim's pet rattlesnake, which he casually rests around his neck in almost every fucking scene. Tim is the local crazy cat lady of the Everglades, but instead of cats, it's poisonous fucking snakes. Tim has a beef with snake poachers and the like, and the movie slowly shows his descent into madness, but I would argue that he's already pretty fucking insane. Now, I do have to give you a giant warning. If you're an animal lover, this is not the movie for you, as multiple snakes die in this movie. I'm sorry to report a baby Dort, but it is true. Many snakes die in the making of this movie. Now, I don't know how you feel about snakes. Personally, I don't love them. I would imagine most of us abhor the damn things, but nothing living should die in the making of a movie, no matter what. It's not worth it. It doesn't belong there. I think, in my opinion, it kind of denigrates the art if you need to do something like that. And Stanley does that quite a bit, which, you know, it definitely hurts the film in its rewatchability and honestly in its appreciation. And that's kind of a problem, because this film is actually just as interesting when it comes to the psychological makeup of the character as Horror High. And as a matter of fact, it's kind of interesting that they were put together, because they both have a linking factor when it comes to the character development aspect and how it leads to, you know, the insanity and how it really bleeds into the plot. And I appreciate that shit very much. I mean, character development is important. A script should give you the necessary elements for you to, as an audience member, appreciate and understand why a character goes from point A to point B. That's what a movie is. Why does this character go from here to here? Okay, give us all the necessary ingredients so that we can make up that little stew, that little potion that is the plot, and we can go along with the character. Stanley does that, but the fact that you have a movie here where I would say, I mean, on camera, I think I counted 6 snakes get killed. We get 3 baby snakes that get crushed. You see that happen. You have 1 full-grown rattlesnake that's blown up. I'm pretty sure it gets shot with a shotgun in real life. And then I think there's a couple that get beheaded, I think. There's one that gets its head bitten off, and I'm pretty sure that was a real one. It might not be, but I would say at least 4 to 5 real snakes get killed on camera. I don't want to see that. And does it shock value work for the movie? Absolutely. Could it have worked with fake snakes, or just the the assumption that it happened, like you see the little baby snakes, then cut away and see whoever it is, crushing them? It could have still worked. I don't like the fact that they killed living things. It really rubs me the wrong way, and I think a lot of people going into this movie will be turned off by that fact as well. I was going to give this one 4 stars, but because of the choices made in the film, I was going to drop it to 2 stars. And then I said no, because it is still really, really well-made drama movie. It's a little too long. It's almost 2 hours. It could have been cut down. But there's enough in here that's interesting. It's Willard with snakes, yes. But it's also a little bit of Psycho. I mean, there's a lot in here that's really interesting stuff. So I'm going to settle on 3 stars. 3 stars for Stanley. I think it is worth a watch, but if you're an animal lover, be prepared for some really unpleasant sequences towards the end of the movie. I wish they hadn't made those choices, but they did. But story-wise, it's very interesting. And I think character development-wise, it's very interesting. And it's very unique for this type of exploitation movie to actually give us some unique character development. I mean, you get character development from both movies. I'm like, holy shit. What a great double feature here, because they're both spiritually similar films when it comes to the dramatic elements, and they're not what you would expect from these kind of movies. You wouldn't expect, this movie to actually be about something interesting. You wouldn't expect Stanley to actually have great character development, not just be about this fucking crazy dude casually tossing rattlesnakes around like they're fucking pool floaties. How did this guy not die? How did he not fucking die? That's a question. That's answered in the special features. Let's take a look at those. Stanley's special features include a commentary track with screenwriter Gary Crutcher. Then you get an extensive making-of documentary featuring interviews with the cast and crew. Then, here's a fun one. Stanley Goes Hollywood. This is a Q&A from a screening at the New Beverly Cinema here in Los Angeles, and I was there. That's actually where I saw Stanley. I was really excited to see that. I will say the audio sucks for that special feature, but if you look closely when they show the audience, you will find me. I am there. Then, lastly, you get Stanley Revisited, a featurette exploring the locations of Stanley with director William Graffet. I was there. Well, I was not there, but I was at the screening. So yeah, look in the audience. If you pause, you'll see me. I think I saw myself. I'm pretty sure that was me. That might have been me. Anyway, I'm pretty sure I was there because I remember that Q&A. Anyway, let's talk about the special features for Horror High. Special features for Horror High include a commentary track with lead actor Pat Carty, as well as a brand new interview with Pat Carty and an archival interview with Pat Carty. So look, you're gonna get your fill of Pat Carty stuff. This movie, they fucking give it everything you wanted to know about Horror High. As far as Pat Carty is concerned, they fucking got it covered. Then you get an interview with screenwriter J.D. Fagelson and an interview with actress Michelle Fowler. I'm not sure how you pronounce that, but Michelle Fowler. Yeah. Anyway, the Michelle actress in the movie, she's in it. Then you get an interview with actor John Nyland, and then you get multiple television spots and an original theatrical trailer. Ooh yeah. Overall, should you pick this up? Yes, I would say yes. I think you will get some benefit out of this. However, if everything I've said about Stanley turns you off, then stay away. You're fine without it. But I would say find a way to watch Horror High, because I was very impressed with this little movie, and I think it's one of those movies that you look on the surface, it's not amazing. But underneath, I think it carries some real weight. And if you're looking to get something, come Black Friday, this is going to be on sale. So, 2 movies for the price of 1, I think you're good. Even if you just get it for this and never watch this, I think you still win at the end of the day. Okay, pal, that'll do. Time to close the theater down. Thank you so much for joining me. It's always an honor and a pleasure to have you here. Make sure you subscribe if you have not already, because I love you. And I'd love to see you again. I mean, I don't love you like let's get married. I love you like a brother. Like, I think it's cool that you give me your time. I appreciate sharing some time with you, talking movies. Two-way conversation. If we disagree, let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear it. Because that's part of the fun of talking movies. I mean, everybody has a different opinion, and that's what makes the world go round. That's what makes art, and I love it. For now, I'm going to shoo you out of the theater, but come on back. I'll be here, and I hope to see your smiling face again. I'm going to grab this curtain, pull it across the silver screen, and sadly, I'm going to bid you adieu, because the theater is closed for now.